What is going on, my beautiful friends? It is so lovely to see y'all today. Thank you for joining me on another episode of MTB Talk, where we discuss the best trail centers and the best trails in the country. Today, we are talking about Boulder Mountain in Revelstoke, one of the sickest places in BC to ride if you are a fan of the DH and Enduro. This mountain is absolutely sick. Yes. This episode was brought to you by my new book, The Best Mountain Bike Trails in Canada, your guide to all the best trail networks and trail centers, including this one, what we are about to talk about, available now on Amazon. You will get great value out of this book, I promise you. Anyways, on to the video. What are we talking about today? We are talking about Boulder Mountain. Boulder Mountain in Revelstoke is an absolutely sickening place. This mountain has so many sick trail features. Such a sick and gnarly mountain with steep and deep trails. Just a sick place to ride. If you like the DH and Enduro, this mountain will be your paradise. It should be mentioned, this is not a beginner's mountain. They have two really good blue trails on the mountain, they're on the darker side of blue, I would say. They are not on the closer to the green side, so you are going to want to be at least a confident intermediate if you take on the trails on this mountain. Anyways, yes, so starting here, I don't know how to pronounce this climb trail, but it is sick. We're going to say Sissy Fuss, because the sissies fuss as they're climbing up the trail. So that's what I'm going to assume this is called. This is a newer climb trail. I wrote Sissy Fuss, best climb trail ever, because it is one of the top, I could say top 5 trails in BC for climbing. Now, I remember climbing up this mountain before they had this climb trail, when you'd be going up the dusty road and all sorts of the industrial trucks would be, there's a big industrial zone in this mountain. So all the big trucks will be zipping by you on a dry summer day. You just get annihilated with the dust. So thank you, Revelstoke Mountain Bike Club, for building the Sissy Fuss climb trail for us, because it is a beautiful, gradual, winding trail up through the forest, and it is a beautiful time on a bike. And I actually kind of enjoyed this climb trail, and I hate climbing. So we'll start with that. Boulder Mountain has a great climb trail for you to enjoy now, so enjoy that. Much better than the old way of getting up the dusty old road. What do we got next up? Next up, we got the two premium blue trails, Man Quads and Loggin' Leftovers, both amazing blues. Let's start with Loggin' Leftovers. Just a berm-filled trail. It's just a bike park style berm-filled trail. Got some rollers, and some of those berms can be a little steep starting out. So it's a bit of a darker blue trail, I would say, but definitely not too hard. Not too hard. Such a fun trail to smash berms, and it's just a lot of fun trail. But personally, I like a little more variety, a little more techie routes. I love the flow as well, but Man Quads is my go-to blue on the mountain. Sick woodwork on this trail. Few little rock slab moments, but sickening woodwork. Nice tech, not too steep at all. Starts out kind of traversy, but just kind of a fun trail, kind of a fun, creative build, and just a great time on a bike. What I'd say is maybe a little bit of a dark blue in some moments. There's a few, I think, optional features, if I recall. But very fun trail. You absolutely got to try both. Loggin' Leftovers for the flow and Man Quads for a bit more of the tech and the woodwork. But both very 5-star, highly rated blue trails. So make sure you ride them. What do we got next up? Gravy Bacon. Man, another amazing trail on Boulder. Gravy Bacon has some sick trail features. There's one like wall ride jump. You get up on the wall and you're all sideways and then you jump on. It's just a sick trail. Now these features are probably double black. So Gravy Bacon, what I'll say, is kind of on the easier side of black in itself. But if you're doing some of these features on the trail, I got some big drops on it, I believe. If I recall, I rode this a while ago, so it's a little fuzzy, but I remember that sick wall ride jump, and there's some sick features on this trail. And if you like that, you're going to really like this one, the Detention Center. So that's a sick little free ride zone. I believe they link up right after Gravy Bacon. You can get into the Detention Zone, which is a sick little free ride trail. Sick little free ride zone with jumps and drops of varying sizes where it's got some cannons on it, I believe. Really sick stuff. Such a sick mountain with such sick trail features. Such a sick mountain. Definitely like some of the best stuff in Revelstoke, I would say. But speaking of the best in Revelstoke, I would say your best, most popular single black in Revelstoke is Boondocker. Boondocker is an amazing trail. Starts off quite challenging, maybe even with some possible double blackish feelings of some steep and deep and loose adventures. This is a sick trail. You go to the bike shop and you ask them in Revelstoke, what is a sick single black kind of trail I need to ride? I bet you they're going to tell you Boondocker. So it starts off, steep and deep with all the tech and all the slidey through the looseness, and man, what a great time. You're literally bike surfing down that stuff up top. And then it opens up in the lower portion to a jump line called the Hot Dog Hallway, with some sick jumps of varying sizes. So what a sick trail. What a sick trail. I want to say one of BC's best single blacks. It gets a little intense at times. It could be a little, a lot of this mountain is a bit harder. So when you see black, you can expect maybe a dark double black. And when you see a blue, you can expect a dark single black. And when you see a blue trail, you can expect maybe a dark blue. So a lot of this mountain is, it's a man's mountain. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of the trails are tough. So know that this is not your easiest mountain to ride out there in BC, but it is so much fun, and it will challenge you. What do we have after that? Alrighty, so after that, if you like the upper part of Upper Boondocker, Redneck's Revenge, steep and technical, what can I say? That trail is also a banger. That trail will challenge you, and that trail will have you in grip strength going down, and that is another amazing trail. And they have other amazing trails, I believe Big Timber, Tall Timber, more steep and deep, single black rated adventures that get spicy at times. So they got a lot of that good spice, single, maybe feels like almost double black spice. What do we have after that? We got Rooster, which I've never ridden this trail, but apparently it's a big bike park style flow trail. I don't believe it was there when I was there. I believe it's newer. I'm not sure. Maybe I just overlooked it. But it's a big, from what I'm seeing, it's got big jumps, big bike park style flow. So what I will say, it's got gap jumps. So look before you leap. Scope it out, get comfortable, because if it's on Boulder and it's something tells me it's gnarly. Something tells me you got some big gaps, and I don't know. If you like the bike park style flow trails, go check it out for yourself. Boulder Mountain is amazing. What do we have after that? We have the Double Blacks, Cash Advance, and Bike Club. More steep and deep adventures. More steep adventures. What can you expect on these? Roots, rocks, challenging terrain, and you're going to go down, baby. So if it's a double black on Boulder, please respect it. Boulder Mountain does not play around. Some of the blacks that I have been on there feel like a lot of double blackish moments. So if you're going to ride Cash Advance and Bike Club, make sure you're kind of comfortable on trails like Redneck Revenge and Upper Boondocker and stuff. Make sure you're comfortable on that stuff before you go banging out the double blacks, which I'm sure are absolutely sick. Boulder is such a sick mountain. Such sick trail features, such sick flow on like gravy bacon and logging leftovers. Such a sick mountain. So not the place for beginners. We will do Mount McPherson very soon, which is also in Revelstoke. That is more, if you're a beginner, intermediate, you will find a lot more trails that cater to you on Mount McPherson. This is the opposite of Mount McPherson. This is where the gnar lives. This is where the good stuff is. So if you're really into the DH, the enduro, getting a little loose, getting a little turny, and just blasting down mountains, Boulder Mountain in Revelstoke, that is the one for you. If you've never been to Revelstoke, what a beautiful place Revelstoke is. That is just paradise. 100% in the top 5 coolest towns in BC. So you got to pay Revy a visit no matter who you are, just to see the beautiful mountains, great national parks around there. Revelstoke is unreal beautiful. Anyways, my friends, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of MTB Talk. We will be back with more episodes very, very soon, and we will talk about all the good stuff featured in my book. Everything you see here is featured in my book, all these trails and trail centers. So if you want in-depth reviews, check out the book on Amazon. You will be sure to love it. Thank you, my friends, for hanging out today. We will talk to you again very soon. Peace and lots of love, and I'm out here.